Welcome everybody to the sales pipeline management for 2024. Stop guessing, start forecasting. My name is Garrett Hogan. I'm an account executive and vice president of customer experience here at BrainCell. With me today, I've got Chris O'Connell. Chris, if you'd like to say hello.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Chris O'Connell. I'm in the product marketing group here at Sugar CRM. Been in the business for a couple of decades now, and it's exciting to come and join the BrainCell community.
Yeah, that's perfect. And thank you so much for joining us today, Chris. This is exciting.
Pleasure.
I want to review the agenda real quick before we get into it. We're going to spend about 5 minutes on discussing what enhanced forecasting is with Sugar CRM. And then we're going to talk for about 15 minutes about the benefits of utilizing enhanced forecasting. Chris is going to talk a little bit about the future roadmap of enhanced forecasting, which is really great. So if you already have it, you'll get some insight on what Sugar and the Sugar Lab is doing to add to it and introduce new features in the coming year. Please place all your questions in the chat window. We'll be monitoring it, leaving some time at the end of the webinar for some Q&A as well. So type your questions into the question box in the panel to submit them throughout the presentation. So what is enhanced forecasting? Sugar CRM introduced enhanced forecasting in their Sugar Premier Edition for a couple different reasons. Traditional CRM reporting talks about data in its current state. The minute you run a report, it can get old very quickly. With enhanced forecasting, we're talking about several different areas of improving your business as a result of it. Boosting performance by managing your team, whether it be individual performance or forecasting metrics, but more importantly, how they've changed over time. Tracking velocity, tracking an opportunity from lead to cash, how many days that takes to get accomplished, whether it's trending longer, it's trending shorter. Enhanced forecasting starts to provide this type of insight that traditional CRM reporting simply doesn't do. And this, of course, ultimately allows you to start to spot trends in your business. So as we're tracking trends over time, average deal sizes, win rates by products and different services, idle times in opportunities that we're qualifying, it can start to tell you a story about how your industry might be changing that year, that quarter, over previous years in the past. And all of that kind of rolls into the idea of accurate forecasting, which we all want, right? Being able to look at previous years' forecast numbers, overlay them on top of current year's forecasting, spotting trends, spotting differences. It's all covered now in enhanced sales forecasting with Sugar CRM.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Hey, Garrett, something from the field. What some of our customers love about it is, of course, all the history's kept. So if you have transition in your sales team or your customer support team, they can look at the history there and then, the first day on the job. So it's fantastic to be able to go back in time and get some history prior to calling customers.
Yeah, and I think this slide really talks to all that. In a standard CRM reporting tool that some of the other CRMs in the marketplace have, you've kind of got a standard state of your reporting, whether it be pipeline metrics, dashlets, or forecasting for right now, and then of course reports on your quotas and roll-ups and metrics, but they're all going to be in that current state. The idea behind enhanced forecasting is now we can start to see trends over time. It's just an ongoing theme we're going to mention throughout the rest of the webinar. So now all of a sudden we're not just looking at our forecasting for this quarter. Hey, what's coming in before end of year? What's coming in next month as we prepare for 2024? But how does that compare to previous quarters? How does that compare to previous years? And being able to analyze that, really all that's needed is the users to be using the system and tracking their opportunities properly. Other additional value adds like tracking top 20 upside ops this quarter. It's something that I'm going to show you as we kind of get into the demo today. But I really want everyone on the call today to start thinking about how we can leverage trends to understand our business a little bit more, whether that means tracking pipeline trends by products and services or tracking velocity trends. Hey, I've noticed an uptick in these products and services that we sell are closing faster in our funnel than last year and faster than other products and services that we sell, I'm noticing a drop in product and service opportunities for these specific products in our catalog. Let's understand a little bit more about that. And so not only are you looking at it from a forecasting viewpoint, but you're also starting to open up that conversation to your marketing team as well. Are we marketing efficiently different products and services that might be trending down in our ops list? Are we tracking or properly marketing to the right customers for certain products and services? Because we're seeing that the opportunities are stalling as we get to a certain point in time. Chris, I don't know if you want to add to any of that.
No, I think you nailed a lot of them, Garrett. I think the other thing to know is that when we went through development and beta test and everything for this, we created these 20-ish reports as dashlets, top 20 as it were. It's a good time of year to be talking about top 20 of this, but top 20 dashlets that our customers were looking for. That's not to say that down the road you can't create other ones, but I think these are great places to get started.
Yeah, and we'll kind of show how that creation is used today. We're going to drill into some of these dashlets. I know everyone's probably excited to see it. There's probably something else that is really important that I find amazing in the enhanced forecasting capabilities before we show it to you. And let's talk about effective selling, right? So by giving us the ability to trend over time, by giving us the ability to see that an opportunity has stalled, it really becomes more of a training issue and a conversation with your sales team. Not meant to be intrusive at all, but as management, we may want to know that these certain types of opportunities are trending to longer sales cycles, that this particular sales rep is struggling getting his deals past a certain sales stage. Let's just have a conversation about that. Let's see what support we can give our sales team to correct those types of issues. Again, a lot of CRMs will struggle with this. You will look to business intelligence capabilities to try to solve these types of problems. This is all built into the SugarCell Premier Edition. Okay, Chris, I'm going to hand it over to you for the platform overview.
Yeah, please, thanks. So interesting diagram, and what I want to do is draw everyone's attention to the bottom line, and then I'll speak to the rest. But basically, this time-aware customer data platform. So what the secret sauce of what Sugar's developed here is really a log, a memory. Some people call it a data bus at Microsoft. And basically everything that SugarCell, every user, whatever they do, whatever market does, whatever emails it sends, whatever results it gets, and whatever clients a serve user may use, all that data, all that analytics is put into this data time-aware platform. So it's basically the memory, and this is all going on behind the scenes in your instance. Now, the exciting thing here about that is that, say, for example, Cell wants to look at a particular field and it wants to go back in time by 12 months. All the data's there, sitting there. Say perhaps Serve wants to analyze a 360 around an account, and they want to see both the forecast, the analysis, the sales, but also the cases. They'll be able to see that as well. So it's a way for our platform to speak to the different components with a memory, as it were, you know. And then the other exciting thing, the middle thing, the data enriched artificial intelligence, because of all this history, this allows us now to layer on top components like Sugar Predict, our AI predictive analysis, because it's also got all that analysis, all that data sitting there, so it can use when it's doing its AI enrichment. So the cool thing about the new Sugar platform, all going on behind the scenes, our customers don't really need to know about, it's the plumbing, is we have this memory of all the components that go on within the solutions on the platform. So this is going to go on in the future. I'm going to show you some roadmap, and you'll see some things that we're going to do for Serve. We're looking at some things to do with Market, and of course, Sell, we're going to improve things along the way as well. So there's going to be lots more coming over the next coming months and years around forecasting, but also case management, market extensibility around attribution, etc. So exciting 360 view of your customers.
Yeah, absolutely. Very exciting. And I'm excited to see, again, team, for those of you not in the know, Sugar is being very aggressive with their artificial intelligence approach, this time-aware customer data platform approach, and growing those capabilities. And of course, Sugar is releasing updates to their platform once a quarter. So we're expecting some really exciting updates 4 times next year on both of those two topics, one of which you're going to see today. So excited about that. Okay. All right. A quick poll for the team. I believe the poll was open. What challenges do you face prepping for a sales meeting?
Yeah, so is it ineffective CRM reporting? Too many reports, dashboards, inefficient spreadsheets, complex BI tool, you can't even get your head around how you have to put in your queries? Or is it just simply you're forgetting to use the mute button? And just a heads up, here at Sugar, we use enhanced forecasting in all our sales calls. It's a single source of truth for all the sellers to reference, and it's always bang up to date. So no more spreadsheet shuffling.
Yeah, and if you don't know, about Brain Cell, we use Sugar CRM as well. And so we have our Monday morning call where the team regroups. We talk about what we're working on, what we're hearing in the marketplaces, all those different types of discussions, company-based. We're utilizing our Sugar CRM dashboards and enhanced forecasting to talk through some of those topics. So very exciting things. Okay, we'll get you those poll results in a little bit. For right now, why don't we dive into what everyone is here to see, the demo. So I'm going to flip my screen over a little bit. And I think maybe we'll start with our first dashboard here. So if you're not on the latest version of Sugar Premier, but you're planning on going there within the next couple of months, if you're on an older version, what you might notice, I should have said, is the navigation bar in the latest editions of Sugar is over on the left-hand side. And you can see that all Sugar has done as they've introduced this new enhanced forecasting capability is to embed them as dashboards into your navigation bar. These could be dashboards that you allow your sales rep to see. They could be dashboards that you have management looking at, the executive team, even the marketing team when we start to get into some of those lead flow analysis dashboards that we're showing today. So the user logs in, and right through their Sugar instance and this little home screen here, they get into those enhanced forecasting options. Some of the enhanced forecasting dashlets that Sugar provides today are included in several of the tabs that I'm going to go through right now. Here's a great example of closed won versus forecasted versus upside opportunities. And again, if you look at the matrix here, you'll see likely value over time. So again, we're starting to get into the details of trends over time based on what we're forecasting, today's quarter versus previous quarters. I can drill into any of this information. Highlighting on top of these bars actually provides a bit more information for the user. But if I wanted to drill into it, I could get into that detail mode. So here you can see a little bit of detail based on that dashlet that we started with. Of course, as you would expect with any enhanced reporting and forecasting tool, completely customizable for your use case, right? Here you can see I can move data through different areas, territories of my business. I can funnel that data down into through different types, or just look to analyze a specific sales rep's data set when perhaps I'm meeting with them on a weekly basis or something like that. So you've got a customized CRM platform if you're currently on Sugar CRM, specifically to fit your use case and your needs. You'll have the same customization capabilities in the reporting tool that allow us to see the information we need by drilling into that data. And then, of course, we can continue to drill by the use of these hyperlinks right here. Get to the opportunity, get to the account, look at the full picture, things like that. But in a general sense, if you're looking at this very quickly, you're seeing some things that you could already get in the traditional reporting approach. The account name, the opportunity name, the sales stage, the expected close date, those are all well and good. It's the enhanced forecasting that gives us some of the value that you start to see in the days and stage field, right? Where it's starting to track how many days this opportunity has sat idle in its particular sales stage. And you can see too that color starts to get affected here, and it starts to visually tell the user a little bit more about what they should be focusing on, especially when you're working with large batches of data. An opportunity in 17 days in the same sales stage may be perfectly fine and on track, but obviously you can see the color starts to get a little darker as that opportunity sits in the same sales stage for 88 days, 104 days, and so on and so forth. I think one of these demos is up to, yeah, this demo example is up to 238 days, so it's a dark red on that one. So it's starting to direct your eyes, it's starting to direct your focus, in addition to providing all the additional information that you typically get in your current reporting state. Here you can see current forecast changes since last week. So now we're getting it down to an absolute weekly. Pipeline creation, opportunities being created, trending over time since last June, where we want to be, right? And where we currently are along those trends. And again, break that down into the different sales stages that you have. This is by far one of my favorites here in the middle. I'll focus on this one for a second. This is actually giving us a whole host of information on a new prospecting initiative for this fictitious company. Let's go down the line here and get into what this is telling us. If you look at this dashlet, it's telling us that we started with a host of different leads marked as in the lead stage. And on average, taking us 25 days to get down to the qualifying stage in our process. We started with 100% of prospects in our system, and as we've qualified them, we've dropped that down to 96%. Now, as the sales reps continue to nurture through these prospects and further qualify them based on scope and so on and so forth, you can see that the number drops dramatically down to 34%. Until we finally get into the negotiations, which typically take about 16 days through negotiate, and then finally closed one. So this is a fantastic report for us here at BrainSolve because it's allowing us to really gauge these initiatives that we're doing and our effectiveness in closing out new prospects based on those initiatives. And the conversations can vary. They get really interesting as we start to dig into this data. We started with 100 leads. It took us 25 days, the average cycle time, and at the end of the day, we got an 8% total funnel conversion. Okay, let's dig a little bit deeper and start asking ourselves a couple of different questions. Are we prospecting to the right people, the right organizations? Are we using the right sales approach? What's it gonna take to increase the likelihood of the close and get that 8% funnel conversion up to 20%? This is a great starting point that gets us to understand that information. Chris, what do you think about this one? This is my favorite one. I love to be able to see that, especially if you're grabbing and collecting a bunch of names and networking at a trade show, and you're spending all this money to go to that trade show and have the booth, and really being able to analyze the effectiveness of that campaign. I just love it.
Oh yeah, I'm a marketeer at heart, so yeah, spend all that money on collecting and creating leads, getting to opportunity. It's great to be able to analyze where it comes from. It really is. The other one I really love is the one to the right there, Garrett, and that is that really what jumps out is at what stage am I losing my deals?
Yes.
So it really does, like, very quickly. Looks like my team are pretty good at negotiating. I'm not losing a whole lot at that point. But when I get to the scoping, man, I'm losing about 38% of my deals. So I need to perhaps get my team on a course around how to do better scoping analysis and align into the SOWs, etc. So I love both of those as a marketeer, and then where are we losing? It's really important.
Yeah, exactly. And it's always in your system, so I can always look back at this.
Yeah.
I can compare year over year on how that process is improving based on what we learned, how we approach trying to resolve some of those problems. Now let's look back at previous quarters. Let's look back at previous years. And you know, the word Excel hasn't come up once, right? We're not doing anything in spreadsheets.
No.
We don't have to worry about calculations,
Yeah.
worry about any of that stuff. It's all
Yeah.
built into our system
And
from a
if you want to go back in the cave, you can always export to Excel, but that's up to you.
always export to Excel. Some more time-aware dashboards for the attendees to see today. Just some really good examples about how sugar customers are using enhanced forecasting. Here we can see, again, broken down by different territories, the average deal size trend, right? Since a month ago. Is it going up or is it trending down? And why is one territory trending higher than another? That's always an interesting conversation to have at any organization, right? What are they doing differently in one territory, say North America, than they're doing in perhaps LATAM? Is it economic factors? Is it a different selling approach? It really just starts to feed you with questions, right? Questions that we can start to figure out using enhanced forecasting. Just another way of looking at win rate trends, right? So this is average deal size, and we can see the trends on that. And now we're starting to look at the win rate trends. And we can see that something very exciting is happening here in North America, where we are trending higher on win rates. And that is a great indicator to spark a conversation with North America to get an understanding of what can we do to help LATAM get their win rates up, right? What are they doing differently than the Latin American territories? Sales cycle trending, this is again, trending over time. And this is a moving average dashboard. That's very nice. Are our opportunities taking longer to close or shorter to close? And what are we doing differently to address that? Again, Chris, that idle opportunities by sales rep keeps coming up. I love looking at it broken down by sales reps as well, because sales reps need to learn from each other in their organization. It shouldn't be in any way competitive. It should be about a conversation. What is Maisie doing better than Anna Marie, that she can have that conversation with Anna Marie and get Anna Marie to improve on her effective rates as well?
Yeah, you can do some buddy coaching within the team.
Buddy coaching is huge at BrainCell. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
We all row. We call it rowing the boat the same way, right? We all row.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And again, that's that same ongoing theme with looking at things like idle opportunity trends, right? Why are opportunities stalling? Let's look at it from product and services side. Maybe one product is stalling more than another. Why is that? Let's start gauging our competitors in the marketplace to understand, is it a competitor problem? What's happening here? Final dashboards for you to see here too, just looking at some data in a different way, right? Looking at data like sales cycle trends and win rate trends, just moving in different directions and lines over time. And so with the drilling capabilities and the configuration capabilities, obviously you set your criteria for how you want to analyze this data. Do you want to go back to February of 2023, or do you want to go back even further? How do you want to start analyzing the data that Sugar is simply just collecting in the back end? And
yeah, it's good. Actually, Garrett, that's a good point, actually, just thinking about it. We've been collecting this data for a couple of years now. So if a customer signs up tomorrow, it's there.
Yeah.
They've been around for 2 years. The data's there and it's in history for them. Now, new customers, of course, it will start from the day you fire up, but it's worth knowing there's value today for our current customers that have been using Sugar for a year or so.
And tell me if you agree with this, Chris, because I typically, when I'm talking to new Sugar customers and it gets around the topic of trending, I usually recommend they just give it about 3 months of time to start, right? At 3 months, at 4 months, the data is going to get better and better and better, but you're not going to get big wins and seeing huge trends blatant to you on the screen after a month of using the system for the first time. It's not collected enough data.
I agree, partly collecting, but also partly getting your reps up to speed, getting them on board and getting it part of their habit as well, because you're at the mercy of the user in some respects. So yeah, I agree with you, Garrett.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Any questions in the chat that I should address now, or? Again, we will be sending out a recording of the webinar today after it's been processed to allow you to look at these dashboards in a little bit more detail. And of course, I'm happy to take any questions, and Chris as well, post-webinar, should you have questions about what you saw today.
Yep.
Just a reminder that this is the enhanced forecasting capability in the Sugar Premier edition. If you're on Sugar Essentials or Sugar Advanced and you want to take advantage of these features, feel free to give me a call, give Chris a call. We'll talk you through what the upgrade path looks like. It's pretty painless. You're just making an adjustment to your subscription to get the enhanced forecasting. So,
Well said.
okay.
Yeah, so let's just share some roadmap things. And as always, you know, forward-looking. We plan to do these things, but we can't guarantee they'll be in the dates that we've said. So anyway, usual stuff. Next slide there, Garrett. So let's just take a look at some of the futures. Now, the screen is it's sort of like a mock-up from our test area, and it looks a lot like what Garrett just showed you. But what I'd like to do is draw your attention to the top left-hand corner, and it actually says Sugar Serve. So here's some live data mock-ups that we're working in the sort of alpha testing, and this is all about case management. Case Insights is our code name for it at the moment. But our plan is to deliver everything that Garrett's just sort of showed you, but instead of talking about opportunities, we're going to talk about cases. We're going to talk about bugs, and we're going to be able to give you metrics and historical metrics all about how your cases have been performing within your customer base. So I think this is very, very powerful as we extend it out into our other solutions. But before we do that, starting next quarter timeframe, we're going to do lots of things around the UI that Garrett just showed you. We've got about a couple of hundred customers using Enhanced Forecast now. We launched it around 6 months or so ago, and we're getting lots of feedback, lots of customer requests. So we're going to boost up the UI a little bit, add some extra drilling. We're going to do some forecast charts. We're going to merge it a little bit more with reporting. We're going to add things to the focus drawers, so you don't have to leave the standard UI. You can use the focus drawers to pull up a dashboard. So we can do lots of things to make it more efficient and more operational for you as user. Then, as I say, later in the year, we're going to then launch it as part of Serve. That's around the April timeframe. And we're going to introduce this, and you'll be able to use both. If you're a SERL and a Serve customer, you'll be able to see both case bugs, and you'll also be able to see opportunity analysis done by enhanced forecasting, the enhanced capabilities. And then later in the year, probably more in the Q3, Q4 timeframe, we're planning to pull it in and start using it for market attribution. If you think about opportunities and you think about cases, well, in the market side of things, you want to do the same analysis around campaigns, around the different type of market tactics you use around what Google ads compared to trade shows, compared to different types of events. So we want to do some more attribution of how did the lead come to us, and we'll want to do that historical analysis as well. So as I say, we're going to broaden it, use this technology, keep you away from those BI tools that will cost you thousands of dollars to implement, and keep you within the UI of Sugar so you can be more efficient and perform a lot faster at the tasks that you need. Plus, you're going to see it come into mobile apps as well. So I think that would be exciting.
Well,
That's about it, Garrett.
I have a couple of customers, Chris, that are very excited about this launch of enhanced dashboards for cases, with the idea that they're going to be able to analyze these product and services trends that they're selling with opportunities, and basically look at it from okay, now how much time are we investing in solving these products and service issues over time, and what is the true value of that sale when we have to support the product and services and track all these and track cases against them when they come up. So that's a really great question that can be hard to really understand about your business, but here we can see here, you know, as we get later into the summer of next year, we're potentially going to be able to provide those answers and provide them in real time.
Yeah, very true. I love that analysis. Yeah, you have cost of sale analysis now, but you'll be able to do almost cost of support type analysis, which would be good.
If you're selling true goods and you're tracking product sales from different warehouses, for example, and things like that, and we start seeing a product uptick on product
Hmm.
issues from a specific warehouse, we're going to be able to quickly see it, define it, and address it. So I'm excited. I'm very excited. I
Cool.
know several customers who are very excited about it as well. So,
Great use case.
yeah, absolutely. So as we move into the Q&A session, please have questions. We have answers. Feel free to post them into the chat. I'm going to pop open the chat a little bit here.
Yeah. Okay, we've got what
Yeah.
kind of strategies are used to improve the marketing?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah, I can talk to that. So if we are truly tracking marketing campaign initiatives, these could be drip campaigns over time against segmented different lists and from our CRM database. If we're truly tracking those initiatives and relating those initiatives back to the opportunities, we can actually start to get some really good insight into the effectiveness of that marketing campaign. If we have created a campaign for a trade show and added all new leads and associated them to that trade show, and then associated them to the opportunities that we're generating as a result of that, we can start to see the effectiveness of those trade shows. What we can see with advanced forecasting is even better, because now we can start looking at the effectiveness of that trade show over a series of years. We
Yes.
start looking at campaigns over a series of years, because if a campaign is appearing to be working, we tend to stay with those campaign flows. But as we know, marketing initiatives have to be fluid. You're constantly adjusting to the appetite of how people want to receive and respond to your marketing efforts. So we want to track those same campaigns over time as well. Most CRM simply won't do it. Sugar's showing you how to do it right here.
Yeah, yeah. If you imagine today we report on salespeople, and you can see how they're performing. If you think in the future it'll be around campaigns and see how they're performing and the different elements, i.e., stages, or you could look at it based on, as you say, events, etc. So you could slice and dice it.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got another question in here about security. Can the reps see everything? Is there any? And really, the answer to that is we honor the Sugar identity capability where the rep can't see their managers, and but the manager can see their team, but a manager can't see another manager who may be in a different country or different territory. So everything is honored through the current role and security that we have today in Sugar.
Yep. Trickles down. Yeah.
Yeah. Next question we got was extra cost per user. Is it an extra cost per user? And as you answered this before, I think, Aaron.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really about your subscription with Sugar. If you're on the Premier Edition, as Chris mentioned before, you've got this feature. If you don't know how to use it, give me a call. Happy to talk to you about how to get engaged with utilizing those dashlets. If you're on Sugar Advanced, well, your subscription, is probably a little customized based on your initial, term and all those types of things. So happy to take those calls offline. But if you are on Advanced, yes, you do need to move to Premier Edition, but happy to have a conversation about what those costs might look like.
Excellent. Well, I think that's a wrap, Garrett. That's the questions. And I think we did a great summary of what enhanced forecasting delivers today and a little in the future.
I appreciate you joining. I know it's busy over at Sugar CRM, Chris. So thanks again for taking some time to meet with us here at BrainCell and show this great new feature set. Again, for the audience, it takes a little bit of time to process the recording, but once the recording is processed, we'll get you a copy so you can pass it around to your team members, and feel free to reach out to us at any time if you have any questions that you didn't think of on the webinar today.
Excellent. Well, great to meet the community, BrainCell. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks.
Cheers.
Cheers.